So here we are. We have arrived at what is arguably Rockstar's first dud. Let's find out why. Rockstar Games are inarguably one of the greatest video game developers in the world, both in terms of game quality and production value, as well as critical and commercial success, having 6 games with over 10 million copies sold under their belts, and a couple of those being significantly over. In spite of all of this, somewhere along the line, they lost me. If you were to ask me why, all I could tell you is that I have no f***ing idea, and that is why we're here. In this series of videos, I'll be exploring the back catalogue of some of Rockstar's biggest games, reliving childhood experiences, analysing and reviewing our way through history. Will we discover that one big flaw, or will we prove myself a twat? Either way, we will be answering the question, why did Rockstar lose me? Today, we will be talking about Released on the 4th of May 2004, Red Dead Revolver launched a brand new franchise for Rockstar Games. Based on sales performance and general quality of the game compared to the Grand Theft Auto franchise, I don't think anyone ever expected the Red Dead franchise to be one of the biggest they had, let alone one of the biggest IPs in all of gaming. I'll get right to the point by saying that this game did absolutely nothing for me. Red Dead Revolver isn't an amazing game, but it also isn't so bad that it would make you viscerally angry. No, its crime is much worse. It is completely and utterly bland, leaving no impression on me whatsoever in my several hours with the game. The first couple of missions are okay, a good trip to the old school style of game we all played as kids, but then you come to realise something. The first couple of missions are exactly the same as every other mission going forward. Red Dead Revolver provides no variety to the player, just the same basic third-person shooting for roughly 12 hours. The only thing changing being the playable character and some light changes to the environment as you go. There isn't really a story to be told here, just a simple I'm a cowboy looking for bounties and revenge, so you don't even have a plot to drag you through the monotony. Occasionally, you will play as a new character that has a different special ability to the main protagonist, but those missions are quickly over and you're right back into the same old gameplay. It has taken me a long time to get started on writing this script because I've just had nothing to say about this game. I probably still don't, I'm just going to see what my fingers end up doing as I go through this. Woof. There are a couple of nice things I do enjoy that I will give a fair shake, but mostly, Red Dead Revolver has already been scrubbed from my memory. Let's start with the plot then. Similar to GTA 3, it's hard to pinpoint exactly what the moment-to-moment story beats even are. You play as Red, a cowboy whose parents were murdered when you were a kid, and you've spent your entire life seeking revenge on those who did it, collecting bounties to earn cash along the way. An incredibly basic overall plot that doesn't really seem to make an impact on the game you're playing. The first half of the game is just killing different criminals on behalf of the sheriff, so you're several hours in before they even mention your parents' killer, outside of the intro sequence where it happened. After that, they just start throwing different characters to play as for no real reason, clearly just padding out the runtime and still not adding anything to the overall plot. I feel it would have benefited from just embracing a lack of plot, instead of trying to force something in and having a series of levels that don't really fit into said forced narrative. As for your main character, we are back to playing as a piece of white bread. Red has no personality, no character traits, absolutely nothing to him whatsoever, and is clearly meant to just be a vessel for the player to experience this world. That on its own is absolutely fine, but the narrative they tried forcing into the game structure is so personal in nature that the complete lack of a character makes its failings stand out even more. Listening to the characters communicate with each other throughout this lack of real plot can also be a recipe for tedium and eye-rolling. The hamming up of the Western stereotypes and a script written on a wheel of cheese do nothing to help getting through this game less of a slog. Unlike most other Rockstar games, such as GTA and the other Red Dead entries, Red Dead Revolver is not an open world tale. Instead, it is a very linear, level-based game. Each objective taking place in a small, single-path environment lasting maybe 10 minutes. With this design choice, it loses everything that makes Rockstar Rockstar. Everything that makes them great. The world is dull because there is nothing to explore and discover. I'm sure there are clues and Easter eggs out there for fans of westerns that went straight over my head, but it doesn't feel like a fleshed out world, just a series of slapped together environments strung together with no connective tissue, and as mentioned before, no real plot to tie them together either. I'm gonna start wrapping this up now, as even talking about this game is starting to upset me, but I'll rattle off a few more notes as I do. Gameplay is incredibly one note. It's just a very simple third-person shooter with basic cover mechanics. That being said, the animation for headshots is quite satisfying. Red Dead Revolver is also the origin of the Deadeye feature the series is famous for, albeit a clunkier version. There are a couple of cool boss fights, but mostly they are just a pain in the arse, and to whomever designed the bridge level, fuck you. For some reason, a lot of the score for this game sounds like Star Wars. And finally, the loading screens are pretty cool. Other than that, I have nothing more to say, and I would much rather be spending this time playing the next games for this video series. So yeah,